Hey, everybody. Welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And alongside me in a state-of-the-art recording studio, not in San Diego, but in Nashville, Tennessee, is my lovely wife, my co-host, my CFO, and overall great gal, Melissa Nickerson.
Hi there.
How are you, Mel?
I'm great.
I like your shirt.
I'm great.
You kind of got like 90s McDonald's vibes, kind of play place vibes.
Yes.
I like it. It's a good look. And alongside Melissa, because today is a very special day of Don't Make Me Come Back There, is 3/4 of the crew of Nateland. So
yes.
It's wild. Nate Bargatze, Brian Bates, Aaron, Bocephus Weber.
You come out of the gate hot.
I know. I told this was like the big adjustment was like we come out real. We're like above a coffee shop in La Mesa.
Yep,
we get
like
caffeinated.
buzzing.
We get our kids off to school, and we like. I think it's like when you're doing a bad gig and you have to throw like you do an hour worth of material in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the pace we run on our
Yeah.
So there's people who listen to Nateland right now. They're like, I don't like any of this.
We can't even keep up with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he's saying.
I know.
That is nothing's worse than when you do a show. That's one of those that I guess if people understood comedy, or if you could feel comedy, to feel that, you can do an hour worth of material in 25 minutes.
Yes. This is fun. We have a segment on our podcast called Dustin's Comedy Corner, the DCC, where every once in a while we just apologize to the audience for talking about something that I know bores them.
Yeah.
But there's always like a small segment of the population who wants that.
Yeah.
But the majority of the population has no idea that you're like, no, sometimes you got to do this bad gig, for like 20 people. And they're like, you got to do an hour.
Yeah.
You look down your clock, you're like 11 minutes.
Oh.
And you're looking, you're normally like, this is usually the halfway marker.
Yeah. This weekend, I forgot something out of an order, and I was hidden like stuff about my parents, and I was like, golly, it was like 27 minutes, 30 minutes. And I'm like already in it. I'm like, I think I should be winding down.
Yeah.
And then I did figure out I left a whole chunk out. So then I got to figure out how to get it back in.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy. Look, we're honored. We have started a podcast network, the Nateland Podcast Network. And you guys are our first podcast that we have on the network.
Thank you.
And we're super pumped about it.
Yeah, we're honored to be a part of it.
We're big fans, known you guys forever. And Dustin, you've been out with us, and you guys are killing it. And I think you fit very well. You obviously fit very well into the world that we are doing. And so thanks for having us on your first podcast. Yes. Dusty refused. He's just standing right behind the camera.
I only have one Dustin with glasses. I can't be associated with another.
Can't have two.
No.
Can't have two. Dustin would be his flight. Big flight stuff this week.
Bad flight.
Yeah.
I drove from Huntsville, so it was I got out ahead of it, and then we drove from Huntsville, and I thought I would feel worse for all my friends getting delayed, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think I'm like, it happens.
What are you gonna do?
It happens.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Not for me.
I was thinking about it, I was like, next weekend I'm in Fort Wayne, and I was like, I wouldn't mind missing maybe one of those shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if I had to miss the Friday late and they had to go to the Saturday, I was like, that'd be okay with me, actually.
You guys should just stay.
Stay here, yeah.
What do you like what if he's delayed? Like, or if he misses?
Well, I'm kind of used to it right now.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just like you kind of expect like at least 2 hours.
You're not,
later.
I mean, were you like, I wish he was here? Do you sometimes, it's both? Sometimes you're like, you know what? Are you excited? Are you excited that could you be a little?
No. I'm like, you got to get home and help me.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're not happy to see me. You're happy for the relief.
The second shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the girl, where were you? Dude?
A swing shift comes in.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. You get really, and I wonder if Laura's the same way, around the holidays is like when it.
Yeah. I get a little triggered.
Yeah.
You know, like in December, I'm like, okay, what time's your flight? Like
Yeah.
planes, trains, and automobile stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's just too important. You know, like
The
we don't mess with like
holidays.
the
The
week
holidays,
before
yeah.
Christmas,
We don't
but
take them that serious. I guess.
Do you know, like
I
you,
just get antsy.
when you
Yeah,
travel a
no,
lot
yeah.
for work, like we'll celebrate your birthday on a different day.
Oh yeah.
But you do that with Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Jesus, well, he's there the whole time.
Yeah.
So he understands. I don't talk to him irregularly like you do. I talk to him every day, Dustin.
He's in this room.
He's in
right
this
now.
room right now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that.
He came in this room just to meet you,
You mean
for a
you-
second.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
the?
West
Are you talking about the
Coasters.
doctrine of an omnipresent God? Because I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Don't,
Yeah.
I'll theologize this podcast all day. I didn't
know.
go to. You know, I'm a proper Christian too. You know, it's
Dustin,
a
step in
philosophy
here.
major over here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
studied the book, not the questions.
Yeah, did you take a whole class on Thomas Aquinas and angels?
I did. No,
Oh, dang. I was like, dang. Okay,
but
that's
I
pretty
know
cool.
who that
Wow.
is.
Yeah, you know Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah,
There you
he
go.
was.
Yeah.
He was kind of the mystic of the old group, right? He broke a little bit from. Okay, you had
Ooh.
Augustine, who was a little more like kind of your, what would you call, like I don't know, like
Reformer?
more reformed, like kind of like by the book. But Aquinas, he got a little more mystical. He was a little more kind of out there on some of the ideas.
He was just an Aristotelian. He just loved Aristotle.
All right, now we're just throwing words.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I mean, you're the one. You dropped
I regret-
omnipresent
Yeah.
earlier and kind of raised the bar here.
Well, to be fair, Nate said I wasn't a Christian, so
You're a California Christian.
That was yeah. Which,
It's a different scale.
yeah.
You're like the Pope out there.
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
All right.
I think that I think it might be in there, but the last week, the impression that Aaron did of me, which Dusty was right, was very insulting. Like you really,
The nasal.
Yeah.
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 But what you said, and I don't know if you meant it, was much meaner. Do you remember what you said? You go, first off, it's an impression of somebody nobody knows.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's. It's
so mean.
It is. Well, it is mean. But you weren't there, so it was easier to do it. Now everybody knows.
Now
I
everybody
knew
does.
this was happening.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's
So,
planting the seed.
I was
for
planting
us.
the
For
seed,
sure.
then everybody goes, "Well, who is that guy?" Oh, I'll tell you who that guy is.
Yeah, now you
Yeah,
know.
now you know who that guy is.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Pulling the strings.
Yeah.
A real Aquinas. I don't know. That doesn't make sense at all. But
No, Dustin's one of the most requested guests we've had to be on our podcast.
Yes.
excellent.
Which
Awesome.
Yeah.
we have some I know I don't believe y'all do comment. We read comments
Yeah,
on
we
our
do
podcast.
emails.
We do email.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. A
nice of
couple.
me.
We got a
That's
Facebook
nice.
group. We're
Yeah.
Nateland light in that regard.
Oh yeah.
We're working on
No.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just doing barely better than you. And then you will in 2 weeks you acquire us, and now you're like, golly, that went
Yeah.
way wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Let's read. Here's some of our comments. David Bushy. That's his last name. Bushy.
You hit it so hard, though.
David
Yeah.
Bushy. That's tough. I bet he prefers to not even
Yeah.
say his
Yeah.
last
It's
name.
tough when your last name is an adjective.
That's true.
Yeah.
You don't want.
I would just tell
I
everybody
just-
it's Boucher.
Yeah.
David Boucher.
Oh yeah, that'll clear
Just
that
call
up.
me Bush. Yeah. Boucher.
So
I may
David.
be in the minority here, but I actually think Aaron Weber did a good Dustin Nickerson impression.
There you go.
If you close your eyes and listen, you can picture Dustin. There you go.
I've heard him enough. I think I've got it down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounded like you've heard too much.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I mean, yeah.
I've had to sit through enough of it. And we haven't done that many dates together.
You did enough.
You officiated my wedding.
That's
I think
true.
I'm
Yeah.
familiar with your voice.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
I had a hot set.
Yeah.
actually.
You did.
did.
Did you get paid for that?
No, but I did.
That's
get-
crazy.
But they
That's
did.
Did get
crazy.
the hotel.
They did give us a hotel.
Oh,
No
yeah.
flight, no travel buyout, but
Wow.
there was.
wow.
Well,
Gotta bring
yeah. My wife made a bad deal.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
gave you a bad deal.
This was
for
before
sure.
no
I could-
hotel.
This is before I could sell tickets. So
Yeah.
Sinsheimer gave me a bad
Dustin,
door deal.
He goes, look, there'll be a lot of industry there.
There was
gonna-
actually. It was pretty
I
good
got
exposure.
bookings from it.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
got passed at the comedy zones from that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. They go, this guy's good.
Yeah.
They go, this preacher's good.
Yeah. He's got a pretty little set here.
That reminds me of the first time I ever met Dustin. Hold on, David Bushy.
Yeah.
First time I ever met Dustin. I don't know if you remember this. Christian Comedy Association conference. There's a lot of C's in there.
CCAC.
I barely got to go because I'm not a Christian.
Right.
West Coast Christian.
West Coast Christian.
We're doing this showcase show,
Uh-huh.
and I hear there's industry here. I'm like, this is
right.
exciting. And I go up there and I do my set, and I see a guy in the audience. No, wait. You went.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy gets up when you get off stage and rushes you. And I'm like, who is that? And they're like, that guy's like a manager. He wants to manage Dustin. And I'm like, I gotta impress him.
Yeah.
And I get up there and do my set, and I look out. That guy's asleep in the audience, literally like this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you remember that?
Whoa.
And did you go
No,
wake him up and say, "Can you manage me?"
What do you think?
Yeah. And he goes, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Do you remember that, Dustin?
I forgot about that. No.
But you remember it now?
I do now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Really hammering home to make sure he remembers it.
yeah. You remember that, Dustin?
You remember that, Dustin?
All right.
He goes,
Well-
no? What about now?
No, I remember.
What
talking
about
to the
now,
manager.
Dustin? He's
Yeah.
right behind you.
And then this weekend I did a podcast,
Uh-huh.
and I said beforehand, I was like, who else you guys got coming on? And they're like, well, we're going to get Dustin Nickerson tomorrow. And I guess that was it while we're in town. And then I asked at the end of the podcast, when will this come out? And they said, well, we're pretty backlogged. We've got Mark Norman coming up. We got Dustin Nickerson coming up. And I'm like, you just told me you're doing Dustin tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, but come on. We just
Listen.
got to.
They're like, we
Oh,
fell asleep during
man.
the editing.
They got pushed.
Yeah.
This is why we're starting a podcast with him and not you. So, sorry.
Well, I thought I was on this one.
yeah,
and
you
you've been
are.
on ours.
No,
and you've
yeah.
been on ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
and then
go.
we stopped having guests.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just us now.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
It's a lot to book guests.
it is. And you
Yeah.
have a dynamic.
Yeah.
And we like a husband-wife thing. We got something.
Is it like too much? Y'all feel like y'all talk too much now because of the podcast? You're married?
We'll
Is
we'll
it like,
save stuff.
We'll save
Okay.
stuff.
Do you
Oh,
guys do
yeah?
that too? You'll be like, save it for the podcast. Like I
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
I
you
got
save
this
for the
funny
podcast.
story from
Yeah.
this weekend.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you yet.
But I'm saying as a
Be
wife,
like, write it down.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
if I had to do a podcast with my wife, it's already a lot because you live with them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
how most marriages are, but in our marriage, we live together. And then
Old-fashioned values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I would think that it is good that you do travel. Because then
There
there
has-
is like
yeah.
some. So you probably your
The travel
relationship's
does
great.
help.
Yeah.
To bring together like more stories and
Mhm.
anecdotes.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of like, how was your weekend? Like there is an amount of like catching up that we start every episode with like a weekend recap, and I'm like, I was in Fort Wayne, and you're like, well, I
was
had
in a volleyball tournament.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, say hi to the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Do you ever have to pause a fight or pause an argument to
Yeah.
do a podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you think you can tell if you listen to it, or do you guys hide
well,
it
like
pretty
my
well?
energy, like I can't like lie about anything.
Not a
Yeah.
liar.
And so there will be some times when we just gotta like circle the block. Like
Yeah.
we cannot record yet.
Yeah.
Like I'm
I like
like
that.
seething.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't
Yeah.
banter and be witty when
Yeah.
you're like literally like,
Mhm.
you know,
You're
die,
the reason.
you know?
Yeah. Hey, you
Yeah,
want to
it's
go be
tough.
funny together?
Yeah.
We start off
You're
saying
like,
we're a funny podcast
You
about
should do it
family.
you do those by Zoom, and y'all are just, you're like in other separate
I'm like,
bedrooms.
hi.
Yeah.
And alongside me is my wife.
Yeah.
We are here.
I'll take her or leave her.
No, it's difficult for sure. But
Yeah.
we enjoy it. We have fun.
It's fun to
It's
be
good.
creative together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's I
Mhm.
think that's a great thing. I think it adds it is a special thing to the relationship, and then you're both involved in it and your careers, and you know it's like we have with my wife, and because it's hard. You don't want to just be like completely, even though you're separate. You know,
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
be like because you've been here the whole time, so it's like
Yeah.
it's all
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I think fans and like they enjoy,
hmm
you know, like seeing like your life, your story, your family.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's similar to why your podcast works, and that it is different, and that
Very
it's like 4 or 5 comics, not just like one comic talking, because like that exists, and they're the biggest podcast in the world.
hmm
And so
Yeah.
what you guys are doing is different. And we started off with guests, and
Yeah, for a
then
couple
during
years.
COVID,
Yeah.
I was like, can we just do this? Because first off, this is a different side of me because you're different with your spouse.
Yeah.
Anyways. And I think you're so funny. And like when I try to make you, so it is like, it's different than the act. It's different than me being on.
And I'm not a comic, and I'm just like goofy and hitting stuff,
Yeah. That was well timed.
Yeah.
Get your phone on the
I was like, I
table.
can't have the headphones. They'll just distract me. And
Yeah.
I'll get confused.
Yeah.
But I try to just be myself and bring myself to the
Cries.
table.
We've had a couple
Yeah,
cries.
I cry
We've had a
sometimes.
couple
Have
cries.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I am
man.
like,
It's a
I wear
heavy-
my heart on my sleeve.
Nate's like, we're out.
This is heavy.
No, we've done that.
Yeah, Brian's cried a few times.
Yeah.
A few times.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's usually after the episode.
Yeah.
No, I think it adds to it. You
When's the
know?
last time you cried?
In life?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When was the last
Been
time
a
I
while?
cried? I usually have a pretty heavy, like a big
Christmas
Christmas
cry.
cry.
Just at Christmas.
Christmas
I cry
cry.
a lot at Christmas.
Just like
I cry.
you put the angel on the tree and then you start crying.
Yeah, Christmas is real
Kids and-
melancholy.
It's a kid thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a parent thing.
yeah.
Movies,
Mhm.
movies and TV shows make you cry.
I cried. What was the last?
Some songs.
There's some
Yeah,
song. I cry.
yeah.
I cry a decent amount.
Cry
but-
from a song,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
just in the car.
Yeah.
Just-
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what kind of
Do
song?
you not? Do songs not make you cry?
Now, what are you
I don't
listening
listen to
to?
the words.
Yeah.
So I've never cried at a song. Even I don't know any songs talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I like sad music, man.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
a lot of
Mhm.
sad.
It's like
songs.
Seattle. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
y'all kind of like
Mhm.
a
Well,
little,
the
You like to be
that
miserable.
that
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that Zach Bryan song, Going South. That's
yeah.
a sad song.
That's a
Yeah.
sad song.
Because y'all don't like Come to the South?
No. That guy's like I don't know if you know the premise of the song, but it's like he's talking about his childhood and he has these big dreams and these ambitions, and everyone's like calling him like a riser, like you can't do this, you can never, you're just the kid who plays in the dirt. And he's like, so the song's about going south where people let you play your music loud, and then it's like and then he calls his dad. He's like, I'm never coming back, you never believed in me, and I'm going south. And I was like, yeah, that one gets me, but
Yeah.
you have to listen to the lyrics for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His dad
Mhm.
didn't believe in him.
Yeah, he said, I don't know if he's
Yeah.
the character in it necessarily.
Yeah.
But he calls and he's like, calls his dad and say, I'm never coming back, because they sing my songs out here. So
See, I think I would like that. The one song, what was it song? It was,
The Sugarland song.
yeah. What's that? Yeah, that Sugarland song.
Hey,
It's
Mom and
kinda the
Dad,
same, hey, dear
send
mom
money."
and dad, please send money.
Mhm.
I'm so broke, it
Mhm.
ain't funny. So
Yeah.
that song,
Yeah.
that song could make me cry. But that would be, it's the same as Zach Bryant, but it's like, that's where my mentality goes, is like, it's not a, which is, I mean, fortunately, I know people don't like their parents, but it's like, it's more of a positive, like,
right.
They
it's like-
supported you.
yeah, they
Yeah,
supported
yeah,
you,
yeah.
like, or they
Mhm.
did,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the other way is like,
Because that song is
It's a
I've
lot.
succeeded and
Yeah.
now I'm going to come back and lift up the family
Yes.
who lifted
Yeah.
me up
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
way
yeah,
through.
yeah.
You like the other way.
So
I like it all.
Everybody,
you
yeah.
want it to be
No,
like, oh,
in your
you
face.
stupid
It could be
idiot.
both. It could be both.
No,
we
I
don't
like it
trash
all.
on our parents.
Huh?
We don't trash on
Not
our
No,
parents.
no, I'm
Publicly.
saying your song, his song, he likes.
Yeah.
But
But
sad
even
It's
though,
okay to like
even
a
though
you
sad
ever hear him
song.
listen to a song and then you walk in, you're like, good. God.
No.
Is that like
you know
that?
the story, the Christmas Mel walked in on me one time doing the dishes during Christmas bawling because I
Yeah.
was listening to Johnny Cash and I was thinking
Yeah.
about my Uncle Butch. So my house growing up was my dad and my sister and my Uncle Butch. And Butch was like 6'6", like 280, always wore big NASCAR jackets
Yeah.
everywhere he
Being
go.
on
He was
that.
a big Terry Labonte fan, so it had the cornflakes guy everywhere he went, drove a big lifted truck.
Earn the name.
Earned the name. He was
Yeah.
a Butch.
Mhm.
Because that family had 3 Jims. They had Jim Nickerson, who was my grandpa, who ran illegal gambling rooms, and then his son James Nickerson went by Butch, and then his son Jimmy went by Tater. So this is why I told you, and I showed
Yeah.
you the picture. My favorite of your SNL was Lake Beach.
Yeah.
we were crying
Because I
laughing
was like,
at that.
I sent it to my
Yeah.
sister, and I was like, she's like, and the Lake Beach thing, because she sent me the picture. She's like, Lake Beach looks like a good time, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, Lake Beach is a good time.
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
record.
Yeah.
But Butch had this like really baritone voice, and he could like sing Johnny Cash, and Johnny Cash has an excellent Christmas album.
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
was crying and was doing the dishes, and you walked in, and I was kind of like, don't know if you've ever happened with your partner or your spouse.
Uh-huh.
You're like, I'm trying to be vulnerable, and you did not know how to receive it.
No, because sometimes, like, if you're in a place and then you come to your partner, like, you ready? And I'm like, I'm not ready to be sad. I gotta go wrap all these gifts. Like,
yeah, I got work to do.
Now he was being productive sad because he was doing the dishes.
That's good.
Still adults.
Still adults.
Yes, and parents. But I'm like, I'm not ready to cry right now. You know, I
Got stuff to do.
I think that's one of the hardest things about
Mhm.
a relationship, like and being married, is like, I'm not feeling what you're feeling right now. So if you're mad or sad or happy, I could be the complete different emotion, and now we just have to exist together somehow.
And
But-
I think sometimes with men, it's like I'm still learning how to be supportive of you when you actually like are sad.
well, yeah, because
You know what I mean?
I'll
'Cause,
express
like-
the sadness
Sounds
annually.
like you cry a lot.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, what's this?
Yeah.
You know,
Because
like
I
Nate
went
first
to-
I think
asked
you're
you, like, what?
backing off
Yeah,
about how much you do cry.
Yeah.
What can I say
No.
here? That's
No,
not
he
every
does-
day.
Yeah.
Christmas.
I think I went too far. I
Yeah.
had an annual cry, and then I was like, "Hey, I think I might, have feelings now." And I was like, "We're really backlogged on these feelings,
Yeah,
so they're just coming up
You
a
just
little."
broke the seal.
Does anyone have a tissue?
Mhm.
Anyway,
Aaron, you cry. You and Lucy cry together. I can't imagine. Imagine seeing Aaron
What
and
can
Lucy.
you not imagine?
You and Lucy crying together?
Yeah,
Either one of you.
yeah. I bet Lucy
just
would make fun
can't.
of you if you cried.
Yeah.
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It's more Lucy than you.
Yeah.
I think it's
Mhm.
Yeah, I would enjoy seeing it. I think y'all probably cry quick.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
bet
why I'm laughing.
Ruth just comes in just like, oh, goodness,
Thank you,
it's gonna be
Melissa.
one
Thank
of-
you.
One of those
I'm-
nights.
I'm
Thank you.
laughing, but I am also like, oh no, I'm
Yeah, I
not,
appreciate that.
you know.
Yeah.
We're in
You gotta
touch with
get
our
rid of that.
feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for caring so much.
Oh,
Yeah,
you'll learn.
sorry
You'll
for
learn.
caring
Yeah,
so much.
This is
That's
Melissa.
my
This
motto.
is a tagline.
That's my motto.
Sorry
Yeah.
for caring so much.
Yeah.
Yep. To my kids, to my husband, I'm sorry.
Wish you were on our podcast.
Oh man.
High five across the
Oh
table.
man. No. Over Nate.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Nice.
sorry.
We're not here for alliances, guys. We're
JC Lee Pulford. I was a Dustin Nickerson fan before I even heard of Nate for years, so I'm a big fan of what they're both doing. Let's go, folks. There you go.
Let's go, folks.
All right.
She had your-
Backseaters,
yeah.
Hey Bear, all the thing. I know
Yeah.
JC.
Yeah, she runs the Batesville podcast
Yeah.
Oh.
and post on there how Nate's her favorite comic all the time.
Yeah.
Just do it on your own
Yeah.
personal page.
She's a Nickerson. She's a original
She-
Nickerson fan.
Yeah.
She was an early adopter because you like, and I'm just barely out of it now. But like when you have such a small amount of fans that you know their names.
Oh, yeah.
They'll like come in
Yeah.
your line and you'll be like, Demarius, it's great to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
How are the kids? You're
Yeah.
like, no.
Demarius. huh?
Yeah.
Damaris.
Damaris. I
I
always
talked
say
to
it
her
wrong.
last night.
I know
Damaris.
Damaris.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah?
Yep.
She's a patron.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
She drove from Sacramento. She drove or Redding. She drove out from California for the show
In an
this
RV
weekend.
for Dustin
Yeah, yeah.
shows. For
That's
her
crazy.
50th
I mean, there were other
50th
things
birthday.
attached to it, but
Sure.
She's never been in Nashville.
Attached to the RV.
She's never been in Nashville.
her daughter at our so we had the like meet and greet merch table, and I was like selling selling shirts, signing the books and stuff, and there was like a mint on the table all of a sudden. She's like a 19-year-old daughter, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna eat that mint because I thought Zanies
mint.
put it out,
Yeah.
and so I ate the mint, and then another mint appeared, and I was like, who's putting these mints out? And it was the daughter. The daughter just carries little mint and thought it was funny.
Oh, that's funny.
And it was funny.
So
it was
goofy,
so
so
funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's putting these mints out? She just did like a little smirk. I was like, I love a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Just cute. And you thought it was hilarious that
She's
I ate it.
replacing it.
Yeah. She replaced the one
Yeah.
that I
It's
ate.
amazing.
You kept eating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to keep giving me free mints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to town. Bree Puckett. I just saw Dustin's new hour. It is so good. I loved how much he talks about parenting and being married. I hope to see more of Nate and Dustin together. Well, this will be the last time. So, no, yeah. Yeah, you murder, dude, at the shows. It's very fun, because you just come out and destroy. And that's what I love. A lot of everybody does very good, but it's nice to see comics go. You've been someone I always talk about a lot because you've done it on your own. You went on the road. You learned how to, you talked about doing those Wednesdays and those off nights and
Mhm.
really, and then teaming them up when you were with me or you were with Taylor or something, but you always were moving forward. And, and then, I mean, now in your own right, I still trick you into coming out with me some just because where it's fun, but it's, your headline, you're doing, it's all moving forward, dude.
Thanks, man.
It's good.
Yeah, it's been it's fun. I always say to my team, which is like new to have a team, it's like just brick by brick. I'm just, just trying to compete with myself. Like, did I sell better than last year? Am I gaining some fans? Did I get a little funnier? Did I write a new joke? And it's last year. So you did a guest set last time. It was this weekend last year, and you were talking to me in the parking lot. It was really nice. You're like, hey man, like it's about to get really fun.
Yeah.
And listen, there's some rough ticket counts on the calendar. I'm not gonna act.
Yeah.
We got some markets we're building in that there's a half a brick laid so far. But like a weekend like this, where it was like just short of like 3 sellouts, and it was fun, and they're fans, and they're on board with you like out of the gate. It's like, oh, I've gotten better, and it's gotten easier.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to dance the way that I used to, or like, you come out and you're like, I don't have to prove to them that I'm funny. They're already invested, which is nice. It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
So thanks
it's
for all
good.
the boost and support and stuff.
Absolutely. So you guys' podcast about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
What are we? What are we talking?
Yeah, we're talking about parenting today. I'm a new parent. Aaron's about to be a
Yeah.
parent.
About to be.
I got a
about
lot
to
of
be,
questions
yeah.
for you guys.
Good.
Oh,
Yeah. We had our kids really young, so we did the math. So even counting Dustin, we've been parents longer than all you guys combined.
Oh, wow.
But it is fun. That we're at the different stages.
Yeah.
You have how old's Harper?
12.
12. So
She's
preteen.
right between our girls.
Yeah, preteen, young. How old's? How old's your kiddo?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. I'm sorry. No.
She's like
I was
2?
gonna let you
He was just going to sit in that for
How-
I
about
was
5
gonna
minutes.
sit on
How
it.
He goes, what's that
No,
chick
no.
that lives in your
No,
house?
how old's Ruth? I was
Oh.
asking how old your wife was.
I don't.
No, I'm
yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah, he goes, all right. How much does she weigh?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You
Where's your?
gotta-
I want
just
to. I'm here
the
for
worst.
Ruth stats. No,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
care
yeah,
about
yeah.
your daughter.
Yeah.
What's your home address?
What's she pulling annual income, Ruth, these days? It's
More than
gotta
me.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that.
And then you got a baby.
Eleanor's
on the way.
2.
Eleanor's 2.
I was right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm
So-
not good at that stuff. And you have I have nieces and nephews that I don't remember how many kids they have and their ages, but you really.
I
remember
lock
that.
in. I know all
Yeah.
the birthdays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom knows all birthdays.
Yeah.
She's always remembered everybody's birthday.
It's a good mom.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
It's
nice.
okay.
Yeah.
You
You can
guys
also
have,
just have a note in your phone.
Yeah, that's true.
or Facebook does it for me.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
for the kids though.
For Eleanor, you got Eleanor
Eleanor's
on Facebook.
Yeah,
This
she's
is the
got her own
only
page.
social media we allow. Facebook.
Yeah. The second she starts talking, we're gonna get her.
Monetize.
I mean, we just, she's almost there, but yeah,
No.
we need to get some young blood in this podcast.
Well, she's been on before.
She has. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you guys have 3
We have
kids.
3 kids.
You're one
Mhm.
of 3.
I'm one of 3.
Is the whole birth order thing, which you always hear about,
Oh man.
is it true?
Mel loves talking about birth
I
order.
do love birth order.
Where are you at in the order?
I'm first.
You're first.
Mhm.
And then you have a
Then
sister.
I have
and
my
a
brother Derek.
Yeah.
Then my sister Abigail.
Okay.
Okay. So is it true?
order?
Birth order for our kids.
Yeah.
Well, what like the
mhm.
stereotypical high achieving? What are the?
Independent.
All right. Here's what
Yeah.
what psychologists say. Firstborn children typically motivated to meet their parents' expectations,
Mhm.
described as perfectionists, reliable, conscientious. Middle children more enjoy negotiation and compromise. They're peacemakers. Younger children are develop natural confidence from attention they receive.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that's true.
Yeah.
My brother's very peaceful.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
He's the only one I can talk to in your family.
Yeah.
Your brother was a missionary, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a principal. But they did a lot of mission work. He just went over to Uganda.
Yeah.
Just came back. Yeah.
We have that in. You guys
My
have that in
brother as
common. You have
well.
a missionary
Mhm.
sibling.
Yep. Well, and my sister
Siblings,
was
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think it's certainly.
And does it matter if it's a boy girl, the order?
You've read otherwise on that. Mel loves this stuff.
I do love this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I love it is because I'm a first daughter, but I have an older brother, but then I have twins under me. So I kind of like meet all the boxes except the youngest.
Right. Because I think you told me once that birth order can, if it is sometimes,
there's a lapse.
If the top two are different genders, that they can end up kind of both being firstborns.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily live in the shadow and get the comparison.
Or if
makes
there's enough
sense.
years in between, it can change too. But I would say like our son is not a perfectionist, but he is the most reliable of the three kids for sure. And then our youngest is like the baby of babies, like for sure. So
she's gonna work for us one day.
She's 10.
Let's get real here.
So,
can you sell merch? Because I gotta stop soon.
Our middle is really good at makeup, so maybe
I feel
we're gonna
like,
employ all our kids.
I feel like at least where our kids are at right now, like life-wise, 17-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl, 10-year-old girl. There are things about their life that are more dominant than their birth order. Like, there might be parts of it that Gloria, our middle child, represents being a middle child, but really what she is a 14-year-old girl. That's what she is. Who, like, that's the driving force and, like, kind of makes her who she is. But I wonder if some of the birth order stuff, like, makes more sense as you're adults.
Like,
and
their
you
arc.
see where they,
you
know, because
like
Joel
how
is a high
achieving
achiever.
They are. He's
but
like,
also he could be a part-time
he's kind
lifeguard
of
one day. I don't know.
Dustin says he's going to major in vibes.
Vibes.
So
he's a SoCal bro.
He's
tough.
He's so mad he's not at the beach right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
he's like, oh, it's a perfectly good Monday.
Yeah.
San Diego is the most. I love.
We've ruined him.
Yeah.
We've ruined him.
We love living in San Diego. But I'm from Seattle, and it's such an unmotivated group of people. Because what do you do? You already won.
Yeah.
Every
day's the
lovely
best.
Every
outside.
day's the best.
Yeah.
It's called America's Finest City. They have a phrase, San Diego, no bad days. And
Just go get delicious tacos.
Yeah, like, what'd you do? Like, I longboarded to get some fish tacos. Surfed. You know, I called my family. We're all really close still.
He did a bonfire.
Yeah, someone has to work though. You're like, I feel like in every family, it's like the families all agree with that, and then there's one guy like, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
because
he's paying for it all.
I'm gonna have to pay for everybody beneath me. That's just like, it's easy, dude.
Yeah. This guy's out here like, and this guy's out.
But they don't require
here.
they don't require much though.
Yeah,
because it's like you give them a surfboard.
Yeah,
the ocean's free.
Yeah.
The ocean is free.
No, and he only wears vintage like resale clothes, so that's really cheap.
This is one that he picked up in a thrift store right here. So it's like a vintage.
He finds his clothes.
1991. He found it in a thrift store for like $2.
Yeah,
wow.
But he does have an entrepreneurial spirit. He sells.
He's got a little business.
Yes,
these clothes,
that's right.
So,
I think you told us that.
He sells vintage clothes, which is really cool.
Yeah, we're proud of him.
Now he's almost an adult. At what age, or is it there yet, you start becoming friends with your kids?
I think there's this saying. It's like, okay, this is good. It's like cop when they're little, and then it's like coach.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember the third one. It's like 3 C's.
You set that up so strong.
I was so ready.
This is good.
This is going to be so good. Listen up.
You really had like, I got something real insightful.
I started off great.
Cop,
come to me later.
Co-captain.
I'm so sorry.
Co-captain.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
Is it one of them?
That kind of sounds right.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
So like we're kind of in that coach to cheerleader part because like we're still financing his life.
Yeah.
But we're also like, hey, this is your life,
Yeah.
not our life. Like these are your grades. You know, these are your friends.
Teens are a weird
your
tension.
decisions.
Yeah. Because
I mean, they affect us. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kind of like Nate was saying earlier, like we're paying for all of this still. So it's like they have this like fierce sense of independence. Be like, dude, I pay for your house, your phone, your car, your like
insurance,
I'm
food.
still. They don't want you to be in charge, but you absolutely they need you. So and
it's a tough transition. You know,
can he beat you in sports now?
So Joel, Joel might run in college. Joel runs like a 4:30 mile. He's like crazy fast. And Mel ran in college, a distance runner. And we'll just see. He's at tension with like, I'm a high achieving firstborn and I'm crazy athletic and an honor roll student, but also these vibes, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know if I want to go to college to like try. And you're like, okay. It'd be great if you did.
Yeah.
Because your coach is like, you could run D1. He's like, I don't know though.
I'd like to go to the beach.
I got to go to the beach.
Yeah.
The beach is so overpowering.
Do they do surfing at colleges out there?
Oh, I don't know. He's not a great surfer. He's a great skateboarder though.
Oh.
He just goes out and like barrel rolls in the waves.
Yeah.
Do you feel this though, Nate? Tugging to Harper, where like my dad always said to my sister, because me and my sister were both first generation college students, and it was like really harped on us. Like my dad was like single dad, union worker. My uncle lived with us to help pay rent, and he was like, you have to go to college and you have to get a degree, and like, but it's like hard to have this job and tell my kids that like you got to go to college.
Yeah.
You got to like get a business degree or be because they're like, well, you just talk about what you talk about on stage, and you made more money than like we ever. It's stupid. You made more money than you did in your old day jobs. You know.
Yeah. I mean, that my college didn't work out, so my dad went to college later. My mom didn't. Then I don't think I would make her go to. I wouldn't. It just depends on what she wants to do.
Yeah,
it would be. It's like if you're really going to something to, if she really wants to do something that is like, all right, an engineer or something.
Right.
You're like, all right, well, you need to go to school for that stuff.
Right.
But if it's almost anything outside of that, you could just be like, well, just go learn how to do it.
Right.
We had Justin Galindo, he's my production manager. Comes out of the road. Me, he was just out with us, and he was like that kind. He just started working at like in Anaheim, the arena there, at like 14, and just was like, started at the very bottom, and then it's just like, and he knows everything. Has been in every situation, and so I mean, people coming out of college couldn't even compete with him, because he's already had to deal with everything.
I think you're right. I think that like college, not only is it from our point of view, we can't harp like a traditional job search, like because of what we do for a living, but also people kind of like are realizing there's so many different paths now, and that college isn't not necessary. Not only is it maybe not the best idea, in some cases it's a bad idea. If you have to go meander for a while, we're like, hey, community college is free. Maybe get a taste of it.
It could slowly become like almost a privileged idea, because to be able to go and waste your time
and money
and
so much money.
But like a lot of people, it's like it doesn't matter. They just do it, and then they don't ever have a debt or stuff like that.
Yeah,
there's I mean, I don't know what they're in. I don't know what classes they're taking. It's all weird. I don't know. College, I feel like in the next 25 years, people are going to really start looking at colleges and be like, what is going on?
Right. It's kind of
already happening.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah.
Gen Z isn't going to college nearly as much.
No, enrollment is down like everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And prices are up.
Yes, they are.
That's crazy. Good combo.
Now, Aaron, both of you and Lucy are both in entertainment. Do you think your daughter will go to college? Will you encourage her?
I don't know her too well yet, but
I haven't seen that GPA yet.
Well, this is an interesting question I was going to ask you. How often do you find yourself letting your kids do something or pursue something that you think is a mistake or you think they have no future in? How often do you just sit back and let your kids make a mistake versus trying to steer them in the right direction initially?
Well, a current one that I have is travel volleyball, because we have an incoming freshman. And we've kind of sidestepped that by doing like local travel and like camps, like which are less travel based. But you're also like, you want to give her, the best opportunity to play in high school and have a group, and but also you're like, I don't know. It's not quite exactly what you asked me, but it was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're like, am I stifling her, or is it just like not going to happen?
Well, that basketball stuff with the kids, or sports with kids, is out of control.
The travel stuff.
Yeah.
There's
sports.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see stuff where, because people want to get in that travel and they're just telling kids like, just go play near your house. Like it's
right.
You're costing parents. It's tons of money
and time.
You could buy a car.
Yeah.
Or you could play travel
volleyball.
volleyball.
Devote your whole life to it.
Yeah.
Who knows if this kid will want to play baseball or basketball when they're in high school?
When a lot of time they don't. But it is tough because there is a tension because growing up playing sports, like if you did, there are a lot of good core memories there, and it was
life
very
lessons.
good outlets. There's also some trauma and bad memories. The sliding back into first base is a
Yeah. But that worked. That came around.
Yeah, that came around.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you make
We
content.
love
out of
it.
Yeah.
40 years later, it paid off.
Some stuff you got to sit on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to sit on. Yeah.
So I guess sign your kid up for travel sports is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it is like it got so competitive. But if you want your kids to play in high school, especially like we go to a big high school. We
public
go to,
school, yeah.
A big public school that has a big sports program.
Yeah.
And like if Gloria didn't do some of those camps and play some of those, she probably wouldn't make the
There's
team.
15 spots.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's 600
So
incoming freshmen.
and the more specialized the sport, the like particularly like a baseball, a soccer, a basketball, those kind of things. Running is great because you're faster, you're not.
Yeah.
You got a pair of shoes?
Yeah, you can get out there. But it is I think a lot of parents, they do that and their heart is good in it. They're like, I want the best for my kid. I want them to. And the worst part is your kids get older is you don't want teens with downtime.
No.
Yeah.
That's the old, what's the idle hands makes the devil's work. Like you can't be bored. I need you to have something to do. So I feel
exercise.
Do you agree with that? Do you
teenagers.
do you try to eliminate boredom, or are you saying you disagree?
No,
with that?
that's
no,
like a whole thing.
No, I try and keep it. We try and keep them as busy as possible.
Really?
No. There's this new movement that you gotta let your kids be bored so they can be creative and like learn. You can't just like have them on an iPad all day.
Yeah.
But I do think that's different with teens because they have so much time.
Yeah.
Like they don't go to sleep. Like they're up at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I'm asleep, but they're up.
Yeah.
So like they need to get tired by doing a sport. Or I mean, we've got a drama kid, we got a karate kid. Like it doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
You
just
remember
gotta
like,
do something.
it's like when you have like and I feel for you guys, like with the young kid, and you're like, you'll have a whole day and it's just you and that kid. And you're like, hey, let's draw. And that kills 8 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, get back on your iPad.
Yeah. Like, let's play some cards. Well, you don't know how to play any games? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. What game can I teach you? Or like, it's there's so much day to eat up when you're at, and so when your kids get
like
older,
on a Saturday.
yeah, and you just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want them to do anything. So our kids still have free time, but we try and if we can get them in programs just to like go be active for a couple hours, just move, go do something,
Somewhere
make some
else.
friends,
And also
go succeed, go fail, go
Yeah.
be part of a team, get a different voice into your life.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's important.
anything,
Yeah.
ideally a good one, but even a bad one, we can be like, that's a bad one, listen to us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're at the age where independent play is not there yet.
no.
Yeah.
She's got to have us there with her,
Yeah.
watching even.
Yeah. Can
Whatever
you,
she's
Yes.
doing.
and it's like, it's probably similar, like, you might be a little out of it, but like
Oh, I'm definitely out of it.
8, 9, 10, 11-year-old, or like we'll come up and tell you you're bored. And like that's a thing we would never tell our parents.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
it was not our parents'
We would just go
responsibility to
outside.
entertain us.
Yeah,
Just
you would go
outside.
do stuff.
If
Yeah.
You just,
I remember I said if I was bored, my dad would go, "Oh, I got some stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Go mow the yard,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
rake it." Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, you're not really bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
It's a
that
different
shifted
time.
is they
Yeah.
kind of like look to the parents to like be the cruise director of the home. Like, what do we got going on next?
Yeah.
Here's the agenda for the day.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Well, maybe because you can't send them out like you
Yeah.
used to.
No.
Like you used to
Yeah.
I
just
mean,
be like,
we would just
go.
roam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just be free.
That is kind of dead, huh?
It is.
like
And even
getting on a
like,
bike and leaving.
Yeah.
old people, or no offense, but like people will call the police if they see a child out.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're-
yeah.
Yeah.
Like an 8, 9-year-old. That's like socially unacceptable in a lot of
Wow.
places.
I used to just get on the bike and I'd be gone all day.
Yeah.
Not really doing anything, but
Yeah.
I'd just be riding
Just
around.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you would, especially during summer. We talked about this one of the episodes. You would just like disappear all day. And you got home and your parents like, what? They wouldn't even ask you what you do, but you had like jumped off the school roof that day.
Yeah.
You had like, you'd been playing in the ravine. You'd
Yeah.
met a
Dug
new
a
friend.
ditch.
You got in a fight.
Yeah.
You saw, you know,
Stole from a store.
You stole from a
Yeah.
store. Yeah. You were like,
It wasn't all good.
Yeah,
It wasn't all good.
All right.
Yeah.
No.
Trying to elevate
Oh.
the bit.
Oh my
boy.
God. Trying to
It
elevate
is.
that. I'm
Did
trying
you
to
steal?
I stole once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, get him!
I got caught. It was bad.
Aaron.
It was bad.
What'd you steal?
Bubble gum.
Yeah.
I knew it was candy.
So yeah, we try and keep them busy. Especially one of our kids had to go to summer school, and we were like, "Awesome,
Yeah,
that's good." I like
it was
that
like
you.
a week and a half.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that you
Mhm.
got to get up and have.
And
to
that's
do
a natural consequence.
something. Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Yeah. You're like, you
Yeah.
can't get mad at us.
Yeah.
You're great.
yeah.
I listened to your podcast. You guys talk about some good and some bad with your kid. A lot of
Yeah.
bad. Do you ever
Mhm.
run anything by them beforehand or be like, that's too much?
Well, notice I didn't say which kid went to summer school.
Uh-huh.
We try and keep it
yeah.
vague.
Mhm.
They would know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you wouldn't know which one of my kids struggles. Well, more than one of them struggles in math, but that's my fault. They were
Math is hard.
yeah, they were based on they were pre-qualified to be bad at math based on
Yeah.
the half of the DNA being mine. But yeah, we try to we try and talk about them in a way that is vague if we're telling like a maybe negative story, but I don't think we're really making them look too bad. But you're a listener, so you tell me, are you like, I can't believe we say that about our kids?
Brian was disgusted.
I was.
Brian was
We are using
disgusting.
our children for content.
Yeah.
And,
Don't act like we are all.
But you did say something very funny last week about how you have to buy all this expensive sports equipment to try out. And you
Yes.
don't even know if they're going to make the team.
No,
you
They
don't.
should let you rent
No,
it.
you don't.
Yes.
And then if they don't make the team,
That's
return it.
why
Yeah.
second hand sporting goods are
Yeah.
full.
Mhm.
It's because you buy the volleyball cleats and the knee pads, and then you don't know if they made the team. or
Volleyball
not.
cleats.
I'm sorry.
It's a different kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
volleyball.
You gotta-
I
Is that
am
why,
not
is that why
sleeping
she's
well.
not making
She's
it?
out there, she's out there
Yeah.
ice skating in her spike
Yeah.
She's got her
cleats.
track spikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there is it's like a down payment. You're like, I have to make all this in here, like an onboarding.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get cut. And you're like, I mean, my last
yeah.
year of baseball growing up was like, I had gotten hurt during like the spring. I was on like an American Legion. We were supposed to be on the travel ball team. And the coach pulled me aside and he was like, hey man, you're pretty hurt and you're probably not going to get a lot of playing time based on that. And we've got some other players that we're going to get in here. And I was like, I took it and I was like, dude, this is going to be my moment. This is like my motivation. I got all hyped. I was like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to show this guy. I'm going to be the team captain this year. I'm going to go off. And I went home and told my dad, and my dad goes like, I mean, it's a lot of money for you to ride the bench.
Yeah.
And I quit.
And you got a job.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, because when you're just a single dad paying for
Yeah.
this, and he's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to. There is an element where
it's a privilege.
someone's paying to
Yeah.
watch their kid, right?
Yeah.
They're sitting there in like
Yeah.
$200 LeBrons,
Yeah.
no scuffs on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay if you ride the bench. I think the team element, you can still contribute, you can still practice, you still have a social group. I am
Yeah.
totally fine if you don't get any playing time,
Yeah, that's fair.
as long as you try hard
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you can afford it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the problem is like travel and these
Well-
high school sports they're very
But at least
expensive.
there's no
Yeah.
entry fee in high school sports. There's
Yeah.
still like,
That's true, but
that-
sometimes some of them require quite a bit of skill
yeah,
that
yeah.
you have to learn, and
It's all
batting coaches
Yeah.
and training
Yeah, I think
camps
I would
and-
imagine if you're getting asked to go do it, it's almost like that. Like you got to go like, if you're just naturally like, you can tell they're like, yo, we need this kid to go.
yeah.
Because that a lot of these kids get into this stuff, and there's ways to get in where it's not costing everybody.
Right,
'Cause
right,
not
right,
everybody
right.
can afford all this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, but maybe the ones that are keeping alive are the ones that are, that can't afford it. and their
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah,
You're
those
right.
I think you're right. Yeah, and I think that there are sometimes like there's obviously these exceptions. Like when you hear like Khalil Mack didn't play football until his junior year, and you're like, that was an exception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates,
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah.
He played
Yeah.
basketball.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he's in a Hall of Fame as an NFL tight end.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like a kid that I don't think they ever came and said, hey, we need you to play travel ball.
Yeah.
Like it was like, he's like, I'll do whatever I want.
I'm
Yeah.
just naturally a
Just
great
amazing.
athlete.
Yeah. But if you got a kid that has to work at it,
Right.
and is just not naturally gifted, it's like, then you are going to probably have to really
it's
get
also
them in
tough
stuff.
like if they're on the good team and they don't get playing time,
Right.
but they practice with like good kids, or you get them on the bad team and they get a lot of playing time, but they're not getting like quite the same experience.
People do that in small schools too. Like they'll be like, I went to state, and I was like, dude, you're what division? You know, like you can, if you go to a small enough school, you can be a high achieving athlete. And maybe that's better. I don't know. Because in your mind, you're
little pond, big fish.
And then later on in life, you're like, no, I was like a 4-year letterman, and you're like, I mean, you had 8 students. Everyone that went to the school was on the basketball team.
There's there's a school here, MJCA, and my buddy Michael Clay, who I started comedy with. They had, I want to say, 5 people in their class.
Wow.
So the basketball team was all hands on deck. Anybody,
I still wouldn't start.
So we're better with 4.
Just play a diamond.
They just have you stand in the corner of the. They go, just stand there the whole game. Technically, we need you on the court.
Yes,
But just be in there.
Don't move. Don't play offense. Don't play defense.
We think they were all friends. I mean, you got to, right?
I still talk to a few of them. So, and I didn't even go to that school. Like, you can't not. Because they all worked at the water company, too. So when I worked
they all went
there,
to work together after school? That's fun.
Yeah, on Mount Juliet. Yeah. You're all out there. And
that's a 5-person class.
I think the school's getting
like
a lot
bully
bigger.
in the group. Like 4 other ones.
Gotta mix it up.
Yeah, a lot of cliques.
It was
5 kids. They all have their own lunch table.
Talk about a graduation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
quick.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh
quick.
my gosh.
Wow.
We would do it for that.
8th grade.
Yeah.
They did like, so our kids like the 8th grade promotion. It was.
He almost died.
It was like it was like 2.5 hours. It was long.
Yeah. Because Nickerson is too deep.
You can't move early. Plus, Gloria's a singer, so she performed.
Yeah.
And that was great. I'm not a monster. That was great. But it's like we had to get there at like 6:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Yes.
It's like
to get a seat.
We work at night. This is crazy. It might as well be
for 8th grade.
For 8th grade.
For 8th grade.
3 in the morning would be easier for me than 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll just remain up.
Oh, and we had to have flowers. We had she's chewing us out because we're running late.
Yeah.
You know, and she's stressed
She's
out.
really nice.
Yeah.
We're like, we love you, and we bought you this dress and these shoes and this makeup and this nails, and go hate us.
Yeah.
Hey, and then we got grandma, and we're just like rolling out. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
And it's so long. And you're looking at what's tough about graduations is you can see how much time is left. It's like the loading bar.
The rows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh my gosh, we're only in the 2nd out of 14 rows, and it's going. And then there's like the speeches. Like there was like 3 kids' speeches, and one of them was good.
Yeah.
One of them was great, actually. And then one girl was like rapped about the school, and you're like, I can't. It's so bad, you know. And then they're all trying to be like, remember when we got here in 7th grade and we were wearing our
As
masks?
I look out here today.
Oh God.
we went home and quoted.
And you know what drove me the most crazy is that there was a retiring teacher who gave a speech. And I was like, I don't care that you're retiring. This isn't your moment to shine.
That's at least meaningful for that person. These kids won't remember.
But not
this.
for us. I don't know this teacher.
Let the teacher have something.
No.
I'd rather the teacher than the salutatorian
that
of the 8th grade.
teacher gets an hour every day. That teacher gets 6 hours to talk every day to those kids.
They get beaten up every day, and now they get a place of honor.
I love teachers. Love teachers. All right. I don't need to hear.
He's saying, would you give them? But you just go give them a moment and be like,
exactly.
You don't got to talk.
We can honor
saying,
them.
like, you
How long are we talking? What's the speech like?
I mean, what did it feel like?
Yeah. I mean, if it's a 5-minute speech.
5 minutes is like, that guy's earned 5 minutes.
But what is he? I know. But if you go honor him, you bring him out. It's a big thing.
Give him a plaque
you do
or
it.
something. Thank
you
you for your years of service.
For your service. You do most of the talking. You just celebrate him.
Yeah.
You know, and if he's got a...
Aaron, you spoke for 60 seconds at your wedding.
Yeah.
I think
that's about right. Thank you. This has
Yeah.
meant a lot to me. I devoted my life to education. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, well, how long did
We've
it?
been
How long did
sitting-
I think
you
he
guys
should
talk?
get a minute for every year he'd been there.
There you go. There you
We've
go.
been sitting outside
Yeah.
for 2.5 hours
You
on
didn't say this is
on
outdoors.
concrete.
on cement.
I'm not
Mhm.
kidding. That
Mhm.
changes everything.
The outdoor
The
thing.
fact that you were outside, that
Yeah.
changes everything.
That person should be.
But is it shaded?
No.
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 Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Ridiculous.
What are you
You're
gonna
like
do?
ununionize the
Yeah.
teachers.
I was picturing in a gym
Gym.
or a
Yeah, we
church or
they don't have
something.
a
No.
gym.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, in
Yeah.
church. That's how they do a lot of them.
that's how we did ours.
They move it to church?
Yeah, they did
Oh,
a
yeah.
This is
graduation
California.
Catholic
ceremony
school?
Yeah.
California,
in
that's one of the
in the
questions, right?
cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is a bit of a SoCal like flex, right? That even that they're like, well, we'll just do it outside.
Well,
Like,
'cause
that's
the weather.
The way it's a
Like
a
that's
given.
ever an option in May or June.
Yeah. 4
Yeah.
p.m. That would have been rough.
We
Yeah.
got, I was always lucky with Bargatze. We were,
I'd have been
Pretty
right behind
Oh,
you.
you were.
yeah.
Did your
I
parents
lived
leave
there,
after
man.
you got announced?
No, now my high school, I graduated 56 people.
Yeah.
So it's not, that's more.
that's efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were never a big part of like the giant
Yeah.
high school graduation. But when we went to my nieces and, they're outside and you hear them go up and talk. And,
Right.
I don't know. It's like I think it's one of those you got to go like, hey, this is going to be,
This is
it's
a day.
a lot. It's
Yeah.
a day and you accept it. And
Yeah, ours,
Mm-hmm.
we went to different high schools. We've been together, like we were high school sweethearts. We met like in church at on a church youth group trip, but we went to different high schools, but we both had graduations because we had in the Tacoma Dome, which
Yeah.
if you play,
Mhm.
it's like a big
Mhm.
dome.
Yeah.
That's how big it was. Like, hey, we got to get
Yeah.
this local arena to
Wow.
do,
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
know.
what
I don't know
is
if
it,
you've
like
ever been
5
in an arena,
hours?
but
Yeah.
and it's a
You know
whole,
about
is
arenas?
it 5 hours?
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
yeah.
Is it, how long is that?
I mean, 3 to 4 at least, plus
I know.
driving.
And I don't remember my parents complaining about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we're just different.
Did y'all like it though?
What's your maiden name?
Hoagland.
Oh, so you're right in the
Mhm.
middle.
Trying to ruin it.
Highland, right? Yeah. But what's your maiden name? What are we doing there?
Oakland.
Well, I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on what order she goes
Oh
in.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was relevant. I'm
well,
sorry.
actually,
I was
my
like,
brother got
that was
a
on me.
bloody nose
Yeah.
at his graduation, his high school graduation,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
wrestling coach came to
Yeah.
help
Yeah.
because they plug
You know,
noses.
some kids just get bloody noses.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
got one. Are you guys anybody? Is any bloody nosers in your life?
Not anymore. I used to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wake up, pillows all bloody.
Yeah. That's scary.
Yeah. That happened to me one time. I had a
First-
sleepover.
Signs of gout. It starts up top.
Yeah.
You didn't get that looked into. You wake up, you get it. Looks like The Godfather. You just get up and you're like, golly, I had one last
Yeah.
night, boy.
Mm.
It slept through it. Didn't even wake up. Yeah.
That's a sign of youth. That you're a good heavy sleeper. That you
Yeah.
could
Oh, yeah.
sleep through a bloody nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't do it now because our CPAPs.
Because you're gonna
Just fill
drown.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would not be good now.
No.
Do you guys fit that in a carry-on? Can you? When you travel?
You carry
Yeah.
yours everywhere, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually give you a.
Like a
I've
travel
never
one?
used it, but they just let you take it as an additional carry. Like
Oh,
a,
that's nice.
Yeah, there's some kind of medical
I'm
exception.
just
Man.
curious.
I just put it in a-
oxygen tank behind it.
You got some liquids.
And
and a walker.
goes
and-
down the aisle. Excuse me.
I put it in the suitcase though. I don't want to carry it around
Yeah.
specifically.
That's good because it
Mhm.
was. You don't. I get mad when people got like extra gear, even if
Yeah.
they need. There's part of you like, yes, I understand, but also, I mean, do you?
Also, tighten up.
It's like
you
when,
know what I mean?
well, we had this debate. We were flying out here, and when someone puts I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. When someone puts a guitar in the overhead bin,
We get a lot of that in Nashville.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Basically every flight there's a
Mhm.
musical.
What are your
instrument
thoughts on
there.
that? Because my instinct
Where
was
should
like,
that go on a Southwest flight?
that's taking up a lot of spots, but also
it
you don't want to
does.
break your guitar.
Yeah, you can't check it.
Yeah.
You can't check a guitar. They just get
Yeah.
destroyed.
yeah.
So you have to
Uh,
hold on to it.
Nick Thune, comedian, Seattle.
Yeah.
He has a guitar. He'll get confrontational with it.
Yeah.
He enjoys it.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah. He likes to come in and then just be like, I got a guitar, and he's gonna. I think you have to be willing to be a little confrontational, or at least
Yeah.
talk to everybody
Yeah.
because you have this guitar.
Yeah. I think you're right because it is annoying. because there's limited seat. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
When you're, especially when you're those backboarding
Full
groups,
flight.
you're like, is there going to be?
Yep.
And so you walk by, you're not sure, and you see a guitar taking 3 spots. I think you should have to declare like what you're bringing it for, and like the level of gig you're going to do. And then the airlines
And
get
then
to
play a
determine
song.
whether or not it's worth. Yes,
Yeah.
you have to prove
American
you can
Idol
play
style.
it.
Yeah.
And then the TSA gets to go, okay, he can bring it.
Yeah, he can bring it. You should rent one.
When you land, go
Yeah.
rent a guitar.
And you should
Yeah.
quit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think we're about to wrap here, but I do have a gift for you.
Oh,
Yeah. So
nice.
this was
Just for Nate.
Just for
Yeah.
Nate.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But it
I
can
like
go. It can go up here. Well, this was. It
You
was
have to
meant.
hang it.
No, it was.
I hope it goes like right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so- It was meant
Photo
to
of
be. Well, it kind of worked out nicely because we weren't sure when we were going to do this. We were going to announce it. But I was going to do a thank you for being out on the tour,
Yeah.
the Be Funny tour, which was incredible. The dates that I did, they were so fun. They're great. I'd say it's like comedy camp. It's so fun. And then just this, and then everything. I mean, I say all the time, you're like a mentor to me. I'm very grateful. I'm and like this big boost behind me. So, for context, when we were in Springfield, there's a very kind of iconic comedian named Yakov Smirnoff.
Yes.
Did you tell this on the pod? If you did, I missed
No.
it.
No, we haven't seen him since then.
I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't tell. I'll tell it here because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. I always have the lights dark.
Yeah.
When I'm on stage, so like when I can never really see the crowd, I could barely see the front row, maybe a little neck down, maybe. I just can't really see the crowd. I like it dark because it's just easier to perform, not having to look at me.
Right.
This one show in Springfield, one show of my entire career, 10 years on the road, 10 straight years on the road. I've never asked for lights to be up. And this one in Springfield, I go, you know what? I was like, let me have the lights up a little bit. I was like, maybe I think I'll enjoy seeing people having fun and stuff like that. And I do it. And there's one spot where right when we do it, I get on stage. I have no warning. And I make a lap. And I go, is that Yakov Smirnoff? And then I have to keep, because I'm in the round. So I'm circling. And so in my head, I'm like, and then I kind of come back around and I'm looking at him again and you just kind of, so the whole show,
Yeah.
I'm like, is that Yakov Smirnoff? And I mean, he was lit up. It looked like,
Yeah.
I asked, I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
Yakov's going to be there. Light him up.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever asked for lights up. They've been down ever since. I've never had them up.
And of
since
all
then.
the comedians,
yeah.
it's
He was a wonderful dude. We all got to meet him. And
Yeah.
that guy was enormous.
Yeah.
Seinfeld opened for him.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been
Yeah.
doing it. And so he was doing Seinfeld was he was doing 3,000 seat theaters. This is back early 80s when they just didn't do theaters.
Yeah.
He was just that big of an act.
Yeah.
Great
Amazing.
So my son helped me track down this. My son, who's very into
There we go.
vintage items and very good at finding these right here. This is a gift to you. So we found this online.
Wow.
This is
it's autographed?
It's autographed. This is from
Wow.
my son dates it to probably about 1988.
What a country.
Yakov Smirnoff. What a country.
What a country. And autographed.
And signed by
That's
Yakov
That is
Smirnoff.
awesome.
How
Dude,
did you find
that
that?
is so cool.
Yeah.
Your son is good.
He's
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, we're looking for some
Yeah.
Yakov merch.
Yeah.
And we found it together, and he was like, and he dated it, and he's like, it's actually a good deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes, whoever
We got a deal.
he goes,
Yeah.
who-
Yeah.
he goes, whoever's selling this right now can't believe this is actually being sold.
yeah.
Because that's the thing with vintage items. You have an item like this that you've had for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, dude, I need some Yakov Smirnoff merch.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, man.
Yeah, for such a moment as
Yeah.
this. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
what a
awesome. Well,
country.
thank you. What a country.
Yeah.
Well, we're thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks.
I know you guys don't have to, and but we appreciate it. I think it's all building up into a nice, awesome thing, and we love seeing what you guys do. And we can't, wherever we're sent over from to go listen, and
and
it's good.
likewise.
It's fun.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How do y'all get out of your podcast? Do you just say bye?
We go, that's
Bye.
it. We go, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
And then we throw our mics away.
Bye.
Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.